Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. We're carrying on with the Beatrix Potter lap book, and this is a sort of component part of it. We've already completed one for the flower fairies, and that's this one here. And the Peter Rabbit one's going to be very similar. It's this section we're working on today, which is kind of the back section. In the flower fairies, I put this little pocket, which is really very pretty, but I have actually used this pocket somewhere else in the Peter Rabbit, so I'm going to think of something else to put on here. And I think I've got something. I want a sort of floating pocket, really, is what I'm after. So I've printed off some double-sided paper. On this side, it's got Tom Kitten and his sisters, which is fine because this is the Tom Kitten sort of section. And I want it to fit inside this pocket, so it needs to be cut down a little bit. So I'll cut it down to about there. And then we'll do that first. And we'll see where we're at. Quite short of space on here, so my 12-inch cutter, and it's upside down. There we are. So it's approximately there. So I'm going to do it at 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to chop 3/4 of an inch off it. So there we go. Now I need to work out how, lost my project, how wide we need it. And it's going to be folded over. So I need it sort of, let's just have a look. Let's use this very dainty ruler to measure where we need it to go. I need it about 3 inches, I would say. So overall then I need to cut 6 inches because, as I say, I'm folding it in half. So let's cut that off at 6 inches. Line it up along the bottom, line it up along the side, and we should be good to go. I must say I find quilting rulers really, really handy for this sort of thing. Right, so now we need to fold that in half. So lining up with the top corner, lining up with the bottom. Hold it still, get your bone folder and give it a good crease, like so. Right, so now what we want to do is fold this corner over right from the centre fold all the way down there. That can get creased in too, like that, and then the same with the other side. So right up to that corner and then straight down that edge there, and that can get creased in too. Okay, so this is going to be our little floating pocket. Right, so now is a good time when we reach this stage to work out whether we want to embellish it or not. And I'm thinking of adding a piece of this cream lace that I've used throughout the little Tom Kitten part, and just sewing that up there, and of course down the other side. I actually think, looking at it, that I'd prefer if that wasn't just a complete triangle. I'm not keen on it looking like that. So I'm just going to line that up with the inch marker on here, trim that down, see if I like that any better. Well, yeah, I do actually. I do like that better. And I think then we can get our trim onto there and it'll look quite nice. So I'm just going to do the same with the other side. Things constantly evolve, don't they, as we crack on. You could make this much narrower, you could leave them as they were. It's, you know, I'm just kind of muddling along. I'm muddling along. So that's what it's going to look like. And we're going to sew. I've got two different sort of picot edge laces here. I've got that one and I've got this one that's a bit narrower. Or I've got some sort of straight edge stuff as well, which is that's probably the nicest, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a little bit the proper length that I need off there. I generally cut a little tiny bit extra. Give me some fiddle factor, just in case. And I'm just going to sew those on the machine. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so that's those sewn on. I don't want to leave my ends. Sometimes I do leave my ends as a sort of feature, if you like, but I don't want to do that on this journal. So I'm just going to snip all those off. There's loads of them. Huh? Okay. So now I just want to trim those nice and flush. And if you're worried about them fraying, which they won't because they're sewn in, but you can always put a drop of glue on the edge of the paper. Right, so there we are. That's us up to there. Now then, the next thing that you need to consider is, do you want a pocket in here? A little sort of pocket. And I think that I quite would. It would just add something to it. So given that we've got this yellow here and we have a remnant of it from where we cut our pocket from, I could make the pocket with that, which I think would look quite nice. So I want it to be, well, I want to put a little gusset on it as well. So I want the pocket itself to be from there to there, and depth probably to there. Right. So let's just have a go at cutting that out. Why struggle when you could use a quilting ruler? I'm actually going to cut this out, the whole length of this, and with a bit of luck I'll get both pockets out of it for the back end and the front. So whatever this measures, I'm going for half of it, and it measures, that's an odd one, 5 5/8. Come on, that's just ridiculous. I'm going to cut that at 5 1/2. Give me some chance of actually halving the thing. So now I can do it at, what did I say that was? 5 1/2, so 2 3/4. 2 3/4. That's right, I think. So I'll put that there. I think this is going to end up maybe smaller. No, we're all right. We're okay. We're doing all right. So I'm just going to get my scoreboard out. Because as I say, I want a gusset type effect, and I don't know why. I don't know why gusset makes me laugh, but it does. Okay, so I just got to live with it. So I'm putting that in there, and I'm marking it at 1/4 of an inch, scoring it down there, and the other side 1/4 of an inch. This isn't the largest gusset in the world, but it'll give it something. And then I'm just going to do 3/8 along the bottom. And this is quite heavy paper stock that I'm using, so it will definitely stand up to it. So 1/4 of an inch down the sides. And 1/4 of an inch down that side. And then 3/8 along the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Your eyes kind of play tricks on you after you've looked at the scoring board for a while, and they all just sort of merge into one. So we just want to, it's the yellow side that we want out, so let's just form our pocket first. So that folds in. That folds in like so. That folds across. Lovely. And then we just want to take the corners off here. And the top corners as well. Just nick them off. Right, so there we have it, a pocket. Lovely. So that's going to go onto there. Just perfect size. Blimey, what's going on? So the question now is, do we need to embellish that? I think we do really to match this. So let's get embellishing. I think it only needs this very fine, well, the thinnest that I've got anyway. I think that's sufficient along there. So I'm going to make up the other pocket and put lace on the tops of them, and I'll join you again when I've done that. Right, okay, so I've sewn the lace on top of these pockets that we've formed, and because they've got gussets in, I can't sew the lace flat like that over them, otherwise the gusset wouldn't open. It would be pointless having it, so I've sewn them just to the edge. But lace being lace, it will, over time, this bit will start to come away. So I'm just going to use a little bit of, well, actually it's 3-in-1 glue, but I've just decanted some into a little squeezy bottle for this sort of thing purpose. So just a little bit on the edge of that lace will stop it rising up and beginning to fray and looking a bit tatty. We don't want to look tatty. We just don't. So there, that's fine. While I'm on this pocket, I'm just going to form the pocket. The bottom piece always is the last to go. Sides in first, then the bottom piece. Otherwise, whatever you put in the pocket will get stuck on the bottom piece. So just pop some glue there. Could put a peg in it, but I don't know where they are. I don't know where anything is anymore. That's fine anyway, it's staying there. And same thing here with the lace. You don't have to do it all the way along, it's just a bit on the end. Because I really, really hate it when it starts to come undone. So that'll hold that there for all eternity. So same thing with making this up. 2 sides in first, then the bottom. And 3-in-1 isn't instant grab glue, so you do have to just hold it till it tacks up a bit, which won't be long. There we are. Right, so now we need to decide where exactly we're going to put the pocket. About there, I'd say, looks about right to me. So let's get a measuring tool out. So I'd say that's about, well, I'd say it's exactly 3/8 in, and that's 1/4. So between 1/4 and 3/8 is where it needs to go, and it's about 3/8 up from the bottom as well. So I'm just going to draw myself a little guide mark here. You can do it on any side you like. I don't know why I'm making this so awkward. So I'm just going to, between 1/4 and 3/8 we said, so I'm just going to line that up with the side. Just give myself a little guide mark there. And the 3/8 at the bottom, same thing. Just line it up with the edge. And just a little mark there. Right, so now we'll put some glue on this. All around the gusset part, but not onto the back of the pocket. Otherwise it'd be pointless making the gussets. There we go. Pop that onto our marks. Lovely. Like I say, this isn't instant grab, so you do get a bit of time to position it exactly where you want it. And that is right there. Lovely. And same with the other side. Same sort of measurements. Do it down this way, and then I won't have to touch the one that we've just put in because it won't be set yet. So I'm just going to give myself a mark to go by. Actually, I've just done that at 3/8, which wasn't what I meant to do. Between 1/4 and 3/8. We're specific. So it's the outer one of those, and it's 3/8 at the bottom. If you're good at eyeballing stuff, you don't need to do this, but I'm not. I think I've got wonky eyes. So I find it much easier to actually measure. So we'll be able to get a nice little tag in here or something of that nature. That's lovely. We've got that on where our marks are. So that's along the bottom and that's along the side. Lovely. And you can't see your pencil marks because of the sort of shadow, if you like, of the pocket. It just disappears. If, however, you've haven't put it exactly where you wanted to put it, just take a rubber to it. It's it's just pencil. So now you could, if you wanted to, you could stitch around those, but I'm not going to. I think we're all right like that. Or shall I? No, because I've got a gusset in there, and if I stitch in them, I'm just going to lose my gusset effect. So I'm going to take just a piece of paper, and put it. Oh, it needs to be something narrower than that. And all I'm doing really is making sure that the gussets are open. Yeah, that goes right to the edge. Yeah, that goes right to the edge. Yeah, lovely, 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 lovely. So leave those to dry. Right, then, for our next trick, we need to take another piece of paper. I've got two here that are possibilities, and they're going to form the sort of the background, if you like. This one I like because it coordinates with that. This one I like because it's checky, and I just like checks. So it's going to go in that section there to give us sort of a back, if you like, to this pocket. So which shall I use? It's probably more in keeping, this one. I need 6 inches of it, because if you remember, we measured this across at 3, so I need it to be 6 inches. So let's see if it's big enough. Wow, it is exactly 6 inches. Okay, so let's fold that over. I haven't cut this to this size. It just so happened that it was exactly 6 inches. Just a bit freaky. So there we are. That goes into there, right up to that point. And then we can stitch around the whole thing. Looks nice, doesn't it? It's looking nice. So obviously I need to get rid of this bit on the bottom. We don't want that. So I'll just put my ruler along there. Sorry if you can hear the dog barking. Since lockdown, there has been nobody moving around at all, and he's been staring out the window, hoping that somebody, anybody, anything would happen. Just give him something to look at. And today he's found somebody moving around, so he's all excited about it. Lovely. Right, I'm just going to sew around there then in its entirety. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay, so that's all sewn around. Clip off the tails. And there we have it, our little floating pocket. So I've got that in there, I've got that there. So, these little tags would go nicely in there. I'll just cut that off. I would back this with coffee stained paper, actually. It's just, for my mind, it's too flimsy for a tag on its own. So that could go in there. Very nice. And just something in there. I mean, you can make one yourself, or I've got lots of sort of images from the Tom Kitten book. So you could make one up from the images, or gee, he's quite cute as well, isn't he? Let's put him in there as well. He looks nice. So here's some of the images. I need a sort of tall, thin one, or one that I can cut into being tall and thin. tall thin one there. Let's try that one. When you cut any of the images up, you don't have to keep them the size you printed them, or you can change the size that you print them at. Whoops, that's a bit wonky. So that would go in there like that. So there you go. Same on the other side. Fill it up as you wish. There you go. Floating pocket of the day. It's going to go, when it's finished and I've filled it all up and everything, it's going to go into here. That's where it was made to go. And look at that. Blimey. It fits perfectly. Yeah, that's lovely. Nice little project. Hope you do it. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope you join me again. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing to my channel. That would mean a huge amount to me. If not, I'll see you really soon. Bye.